Once there lived a little dog named Max. Max was small, with floppy ears and brown fur. He lived in a green meadow full of birds, rabbits, and squirrels. But Max was always sad. He believed he was too weak to play, too slow to run, and too shy to make friends. While other animals laughed and raced, Max sat under a tree, thinking, "I will never be happy." This thought made him lonely every single day. He wanted to change his life, but he didn't know how. Deep inside, Max wished for one chance to prove he was special to Dot. One sunny morning, Max sat under his favorite tree. A little bluebird landed nearby and chirped. "Why do you always look so sad, Max?" Max sighed and said, "Because I am weak. I can't run fast like the rabbits, and I can't climb trees like squirrels. I will always be useless." The bird tilted her head and smiled. "No, Max, it's not your body that makes you strong, it's your mind. Change your thoughts, and your life will change." Max frowned. "My mind? But how?" The bird flapped her wings. "Think brave thoughts. Believe you can. You will see a new Max." The next day, Max watched the rabbits preparing for their race. His heart wanted to join, but fear whispered, "You will lose." He remembered the bird's words, "Change your thoughts." Max took a deep breath and said to himself, "I can try. I am not weak." With courage, he asked the rabbits if he could join. They giggled at first but agreed. When the race started, Max ran with all his heart. He didn't win, but he didn't stop either. For the first time, he finished the race. The rabbits clapped. Max's tail wagged happily. He had proved something to himself. Later that week, Max saw squirrels gathering acorns high up in trees. "You can't do this, Max," he thought. But then he remembered his new belief. "Maybe I cannot climb, but I can still help." Max carried fallen acorns in his mouth and placed them in the squirrel's hole. The squirrels cheered. "Thank you, Max. You are strong in your own way." Max's heart shined with joy. He realized strength was not always about speed or climbing. It was about helping and never giving up. From that day, Max started to look at himself differently. Slowly, his sadness began to fade. One evening, dark clouds covered the meadow. Heavy rain poured, and thunder roared loudly. The animals ran to find shelter. Max, though scared, thought, "I must be brave. I can help." He barked to guide the small rabbits to a dry cave. He stood outside, wagging his tail, until all the tiny animals were safe. The bird from before flew down and whispered, "See, Max, you are a leader now." Max felt proud. His new thoughts had changed his actions. For the first time in his life, he no longer felt weak. He felt strong, kind, and brave. In the same meadow lived a sly fox who disliked Max's new confidence. The fox wanted all animals to fear him, but now everyone admired Max. One day, the fox teased, "You are still small, Max. Don't think you're important." The words hurt Max. But he remembered, "My thoughts are stronger than mean voices." Max smiled and said, "Maybe I am small, but I have a big heart." The fox sneered and left angrily. The animals gathered around Max and praised him for his courage. Max learned that believing in himself made him untouchable, even from unkind words. One afternoon, a shadow fell across the meadow. A wild wolf entered, hungry and fierce. The animals panicked. They ran in all directions, but Max stood still. His heart raced, but his mind whispered, "Be brave." Max barked loudly, running around to distract the wolf. The wolf chased him, leaving other animals safe. Max led the wolf toward the river. At the right moment, he leaped aside, and the wolf slipped into the rushing water. The meadow was safe again. The animals cheered, "Max, you are our hero." Tears of joy filled Max's eyes. His changed mindset had saved everyone evening. The animals gathered under the glowing moon. They decorated the meadow with flowers and fireflies. The birds sang, the rabbits danced, and the squirrels clapped their tiny paws. Max sat in the center, wearing a crown of leaves. "You are no longer the sad dog," the bird said kindly. "You are the bravest among us." Max wagged his tail with pride. But inside he thought, "I didn't become strong by magic. I became strong by changing my thoughts." The meadow echoed with laughter and cheer, and Max finally felt he belonged to this happy family of friends. Next morning, Max sat with the bluebird again. "Thank you," Max said. "Your words changed my life." The bird smiled. "No, Max, you changed your own life. I only showed you the path." Max thought about it deeply. He realized the meadow hadn't changed. The animals hadn't changed, but he had. By thinking brave thoughts, he found courage. By thinking kind thoughts, he found love. Max promised himself never to return to sadness again. He learned that a strong mind can create a strong life. His tail wagged as he walked, proud of the dog he had become. From that day, Max was no longer the weak, lonely dog. He was a leader, a friend, and a hero. Whenever fear whispered in his heart, he answered, "I can do it." The meadow was full of life, and Max was its shining spirit. The fox, the squirrels, the rabbits, and even the birds respected him. The story of the brave little dog spread to nearby forests. Max had proved that true strength begins inside the mind. If you believe you can, you will. And so, Max's life became happy and bright, all because he chose to change his mindset.